Dr. Jackie reveals that Chrissy Lampkin's life is in danger after giving birth. A shocking revelation has shaken the entertainment business and left fans feeling anxious in a world where rumors and speculation can easily make it difficult to tell the difference between what is real and what is not. Dr. Jackie Walters, a well-known person in the medical field, has been accused of a horrific scandal that threatens the life of Chrissy Lampkin, a star of reality television. The specifics are terrifying, the ramifications are catastrophic, and the stakes have never been higher. The calm before the storm. Chrissy Lampkin, who is known for her role on the reality television show Love and Hip Hop, New York, has been in the public eye for a long time due to her rocky relationship with rapper Jim Jones. Her fearless personality, strong sense of independence, and unapologetic approach to life have made her a famous character over the years. However, Chrissy had always kept her personal health private, despite her public presence. Chrissy and Jim's followers watched as they dealt with the highs and lows of their love story, all while keeping a close relationship that many people admired. However, the couple was expecting their first child together, which was a new development. Fans were excited about Chrissy's pregnancy because it was obvious that she had been looking forward to this moment for a long time. The revelation caused a stir on social media, with millions of followers sharing their enthusiasm for the couple. Chrissy looked healthy, happy, and self-assured as her pregnancy continued. She even shared updates on her social media pages, displaying her developing baby bulge and talking about the new chapter in her life. Everything appeared to be flawless. However, something evil was developing behind the scenes. Many people were left feeling concerned when they learned that Dr. Jackie Walters, a well-regarded obstetrician and gynecologist, was engaged in Chrissy's care. Dr. Walters has established a strong reputation for himself by collaborating with some of the most well-known figures in Hollywood and consistently demonstrating excellence in his work. However, even with her qualifications, rumors began to spread that something was amiss. The initial indication of a problem. Chrissy began to have issues during the later stages of her pregnancy, which was the first indication that things were not as they appeared. Chrissy, who was known for her strength and tenacity, found herself experiencing a number of unsettling symptoms. She was troubled with severe swelling, dizziness, and persistent exhaustion, which left her feeling helpless and confused. Jim, who is always protective, became worried and insisted on more testing. However, Dr. Walters calmed their fears by saying that everything was normal. She argued that Jim's concerns were unfounded, saying, "It's just a part of the pregnancy process." The couple's fear increased as Chrissy's condition continued to worsen. They opted to get a second opinion only after Chrissy had an emergency episode in which her breathing became difficult and her heart rate increased. The second doctor, who specializes in high-risk pregnancies, was astonished by Chrissy's health condition and promptly requested a number of tests that Dr. Walters had neglected to carry out. The results were frightening. The scandal develops. Chrissy's prognosis was one that no expectant mother should ever have to hear. Her life was in danger due to issues that had been completely overlooked. The testing showed that Chrissy had a serious case of preeclampsia, which is a dangerous condition that affects the organs and blood flow. If it is not treated correctly, it can lead to a stroke, seizures, or other serious complications. However, the biggest surprise occurred when the second doctor disclosed that Dr. Jackie Walters had overlooked a number of red indicators that should have been easy to see. In truth, several of the issues that Chrissy was experiencing had been evident for weeks, but had been dismissed as normal pregnancy symptoms. Chrissy's life was in danger because of Dr. Walters' negligence, which might have been either intentional or accidental. This news sent shockwaves through both the reality television and medical communities. Dr. Walters, who had made a name for herself by assisting women during their pregnancies, was now being charged with serious negligence. However, that was only the start. Chrissy's health was not the only thing that was in danger. Her baby's life was also at peril. A sensitive situation. Chrissy's fans were left in shock in the days that followed. The news circulated quickly and social media platforms were filled with people expressing their anger. Fans flocked to Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook to demand answers from Dr. Walters and the medical establishment that employed her. How could a person with such a flawless reputation make such a serious error? At the same time, Chrissy and Jim were struggling with their feelings. Chrissy had always been a strong-willed and fiercely independent person. However, she felt betrayed by the one person she had trusted to take care of her during one of the most significant moments of her life. She started to doubt all she believed she knew about her pregnancy and the medical field. How could something so serious be overlooked? How could a doctor with decades of experience allow this to happen? However, Chrissy was only starting to feel the emotional impact. The situation had turned into a media frenzy, and the constant attention from the journalists was too much to handle. Chrissy's private life, which she had kept hidden, was suddenly exposed in a way that she never expected. In addition to the medical issues she was already dealing with, Chrissy now had to deal with the stress and emotional burden of the situation, all while attempting to stay healthy for her kid. Dr. Jackie's defense. Dr. Walters made a public statement denying any wrongdoing as the number of claims increased. She stated that Chrissy's symptoms were typical for pregnancy issues and that she had adhered to the established medical protocols. "I did everything by the book," Dr. Walters said in a televised interview. "I always kept Chrissy's well-being in mind, and I never once ignored any of her concerns," said the speaker. However, some were doubtful about her assertions. Dr. Walters' defense was disproved by Chrissy's second doctor, who was known for being straightforward and truthful. He stated in a private interview that Dr. Walters had not given the usual tests that could have revealed how serious Chrissy's illness was much sooner. He stated, "This was not just a minor mistake, it was a case of negligence." Dr. Walters did not do the appropriate tests, which would have made it easy to detect preeclampsia. Dr. Walters faced increasing criticism as many people began to doubt her competence to continue working as a doctor in light of the scandal. The medical community, which had previously held her in high regard, began to distance itself from her, and some of her colleagues openly condemned her handling of the case. A risky game. Jim got more and more protective as Chrissy's health continued to decline. He insisted that Dr. Walters no longer be in charge of Chrissy's care, and Chrissy was then transported to another medical facility, where she received the urgent treatment she required. For a while, Chrissy's status remained uncertain. It got worse before it began to improve. However, the harm had already been done, even with the involvement of the greatest physicians. Chrissy had experienced a frightening event that would stay with her for the rest of her life. She had lost faith in the medical profession, and the trauma of the event was a heavy burden for her to carry. It was obvious that she would never completely heal from the emotional wounds that had been caused by the betrayal she had gone through. Dr. Walters faced serious penalties. Her medical license was being reviewed, and she was facing multiple lawsuits for malpractice. Regardless of the outcome of the judicial processes, the controversy will always have a negative impact on her career. While the media frenzy continued, everyone was wondering if Dr. Walters would ever be able to earn back the trust of her patients, or if her career in medicine was finished for good. A family in trouble. Ultimately, Chrissy and Jim came out of the experience stronger than they had ever been, but they were also changed forever. The birth of their child, which had once seemed like a happy occasion, was now overshadowed by the trauma of what had happened. However, they took comfort in their love for one another, and their new dedication to making sure that their child would be raised in a safe and caring atmosphere. Dr. Walters' future was still unknown. It was still unknown if she would be held legally accountable, or whether she would be able to return to her previous job as a renowned medical expert. However, one thing was certain: the repercussions of her actions would be felt for many years in the future. Despite the fact that Chrissy's life had been in danger, she had made it through the experience. Although the event was terrifying, it had provided her with a new outlook on life, in which trust, love, and family were the most important things. The birth of her child was not only a new chapter for her, it was also a reminder of her fortitude and tenacity, which were the qualities that distinguished her.